Hello everyone and welcome here on my live stream. My name is Paul. I am a scientist and a programmer interested in numbers, predictions and probabilities. Today I am going to talk about the wave-like theory in general and the software Gene 2.0 as an outcome of this theory. Before I start, let me tell you why I do all of this, what force drives me to work hard in this area. Besides passion, curiosity, it is strong conviction and also great desire to know and understand things around us. Furthermore, it's about to do something new that no one did before, and if I could, I would like to compare it with the same passion as Elon Musk has for his visions and ideas. So now, I would like you to listen to his few words and feel what I feel.
Rock, verify range, go.
Range green.
First stage tank pressing up.
A well thought out critique of whatever you're doing is as valuable as gold.
That third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. I mean, I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.
8 weeks later, Musk bet the company on another flight.
We have liftoff.
And this time around, everything worked.
Perfect.
If that fourth launch hadn't worked, that would have been it. We would have not had the resources to mount a trip.
Successful entrepreneurs probably come in all sizes, shapes, and flavors. Some of the things I've described already, I think, are very important. I think really an obsessive nature with respect to the quality of the product. Really liking what you do, whatever area that you get into. Given that, even if you're the best, there's always a chance of failure. So I think it's important that you really like whatever you're doing. If you don't like it, life is too short. When my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. We had just one computer, so the website was up during the day and I was coding at night, 7 days a week, all the time.
You just keep going and get it done.
Put $90 billion, like 50 years worth of brakes into solar and wind, to Solyndra and Fisker and Tesla and Enter1. I mean, I had a friend who said you don't just pick the winners and losers, you pick the losers.
I'm available 24/7 to help solve issues. Call me 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I don't care.
But his bets paid off.
We didn't just repay the principal, we actually repaid it with interest and a bonus payment. So ultimately, the U.S. taxpayer actually made a profit of over $20 million on this loan.
Work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100 hour weeks every week. If other people are putting in 40-hour work.
I am back and I believe you got the right impression. Well, so let's start from the beginning. Everyone knows an octopus, quite clever animal from the sea, but no one could imagine the octopus can play football, or even it can predict which football team will win the match. But there was Octopus predicting the correct team which will win the football match by selecting the box and getting inside, taking food of the right winning team. You might think in some fairy tale, but it's not. There was Octopus called Paul, like me. You can find him in Wikipedia. He was born in 2008 and died after 2 years, and he is known for successfully predicting results of football matches. And in fact, he predicted all the matches correctly during the World Cup 2010 in Germany. Maybe someone remembers that occasion, and that's exactly the point when I realized that the same events should be everywhere. It's just about to find them. In that moment, the idea came into my mind, and here my research journey starts. Just remember, the octopus has no idea about the football teams, and the players didn't know the octopus, but both different events were producing the same results, and the octopus has advantage that he was always ahead. The game was played, so he was able to predict the right result. And here now I am going to show another illustration example. We have a table of random numbers, and we can focus on repeated numbers, for example number 2, and it's repeated at 6 places. According to the theory, if we look for example to the left, we see number 1, so beside other number 2 should be number 1 as well, and here it is. What about to look to the right is number 3, so then 3 will be on the other side, and that's we can look here, and number 1 is here, then down, and it's evident that we are getting 4 same shape looking like a cross, and that's what we are looking for, that we can imagine the table of random numbers as an ocean and universe of random numbers, where we are trying to find the same shape or the same sequence and form, which when it means when we see the small part and we know the big part, then we can predict how the rest will look like. Then if I go on, we can see that mainly in nature at many forms, like waves and leaves, animals, snowflakes, and also waves on the ocean. Then also we can see that on the plants, where are the fractal shape, like the small shape is like the big one and the biggest one. These shapes we can simulate in computer, making a 3D nice objects like fractals, where the big shape is like the small one, and then the small one is the like the smallest one, and all is going to the infinity. Other example is our universe. Universe is full of galaxies, and the galaxies are full of stars. And what about to look for stars that look like our sun, and then to the distance like our Earth is? So it's very probable then we can find a planet like our Earth is, and astronomers really found many similar planets to Earth, and they call them exoplanets, which means that there can be life or conditions for life. That's potential. It can be like a human life or some kind of simpler life. Other interesting example is a body double. And about the body double, we are more than 7 billion people at our world, and it's very probable that someone will like you, and he can come from past, he'll be born in the future, and he can live nowadays somewhere close to you or some another continent. But it's very probable that there will be someone like you, someone like your twin. And for example, the Adolf Hitler has body like the Stalin, or John Travolta from past, or even Nicolas Cage, or even you. From all these observations, we can define the wave-like theory in the following form. If the sequence of events is equal with the sequence of events in a different time and space, then their follow-up event will be identical, similar, or completely different, regardless of what conditions and under what circumstances were or are formed. This we can write in the simple formula where we have event at place 1 and time 1 created under certain conditions and circumstances is equal or similar or completely different from another event at different place and different time created under different conditions and circumstances. So this is the wave-like theory definition, and we can show you another example of that similar method which is already used in math and many other branches, and that's called Monte Carlo, according to a town at Princessdom of Monaco, where it's full of game houses where the roulette dominates. And 50 years ago, John von Neumann and Stanislav Ulam were asked to solve one task, which was how many neutrons can pass the tank full of water. And it was not possible to calculate it theoretically or even practically. There was no method, even they knew the initial conditions and other parameters. For example, that if the neutron collides with hydrogen, then the neutron is absorbed. If it collides with oxygen, then it takes another direction, and sometimes it can pass without any collision. So they also knew that after every 100 collision, it is a collision with hydrogen, which means death of neutron. So they took the roulette wheel and split it into 100 pieces when one was marked as a death of neutron, and they took the ball as a representation of the neutron, and they drop it into the wheel and waited what number or if it will be absorbed by the marked piece. And that experiment was repeated, and when it was absorbed it disappeared, or if it got another number, it meant the collision with oxygen, it took another direction and it went to the other roulette wheel. And the process was repeated, and this simulation and experiment was done with many tries. And you can imagine to do these tries, it can take months, maybe years to finish this experiment. And 50 years ago, fortunately, they had something like a first computer, which was a simple counter, and they were able to do it with this counter, and they were getting really precise and accurate results. So that was really fine method, which is also in accordance with the wave-like theory. And now here, remember this, we have on one side we have the roulette wheels with the balls, and on the other side we have the water with the tank with water and neutrons. They are completely different events, but they are producing the same results. And nowadays we have computers which are like a few years ago like supercomputers, and we can use this powerful tool to make these simulations much more quicker than the reality is. And that's all about, it's all about the wave-like theory, the principle and the definition. From all these explanations, we can see many possibilities in the real life. One of them is, for example, the prediction on the stock market, the weather forecast predictions, also the predictions of the disaster on the earth, then searching for another planet with life, as I explained before, and also the voice and face recognition, internet search like Google is, and finally the prediction of the lottery numbers. And here I put more attention on because it is a great chance and opportunity to research and to prove the theory and benefit from it. Not only me, but you can participate the research and try to prove the theory, and also you can benefit from it, getting prizes from the lottery and winning even the jackpot. And that's why I had created the Gene software, which I released to public. And let me now explain its principle. We have on one side lottery, as I mentioned. One day there are following numbers drawn, the other day we have other numbers, for the third day these numbers, fourth day and fifth days. So we knew the history of the lottery until now. Then on the other side we have the generator, which is part of the Gene software, and this generator is generating a random number for in the range of the lottery for the first day, but within milliseconds, like this. Then it goes on and it continues for the second day, for the third day, for the fourth day, for the fifth day. And now it's the difference. It can continue within milliseconds, and it can generate for the sixth day right now. Yeah, like this. And the lottery day we still have to wait for the sixth day, but we already have numbers in the generator. And then it can do two things. It can generate numbers for the seventh day, or it can go back and it can generate again number for the day one, and to trying to get better matches with the day of the real lottery. So it can continue in a circle until the sixth day is drawn. So let's look on the situation after 100 cycles. And so we generating numbers, and we have first match for the first day. Then we have 0 matches for the second day. We have 1 match for the third day, 2 matches for the fourth day, and 1 match for the fifth day. Then we are generating numbers for the sixth day, and we are getting first wave. The wave looks like this. It corresponds to the number of hits, which the average of hits is 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5 divided by 5 is 1. It means that if from these 5 numbers, one of them will be drawn the sixth day of the real lottery. Let's look on the situation after millions of cycles. And the situation becomes much more better. We have already 3 matches for the first day, then 2 matches for the second day, and complete hit on the third day, which is what we are looking for, and 2 matches for the fourth day, and 3 matches for the fifth day. Then finally we are generating numbers for the sixth day. Let's look for the wave again. The wave is higher, and it has one peak here, and it's much more bigger. The average is something like 15 divided by 5. It's 3. It means that 3 of these numbers will be drawn sixth day of the real lottery. So if you put them on ticket, you should have something about 3 numbers at least to match with the real lottery. And now look for the situation after billions of cycles. And now the situation is what we are all looking for, that we have the complete total match for every day and all 5 matches. It looks like this. And then we are generating numbers for the sixth day. If we look for the average, is evident, is 25 divided by 5 is 5. And now we are not getting like wave, but the wave is a straight line, and that's the maximum we are able to reach and we are looking for. And if we put these numbers on ticket, then we should win the jackpot with all the 5 numbers, or at least with the 4 numbers, but we should have it, and that's all the implementation of the wave-like theory in the gene software, which is part of it. You realize that very important parameter of this software is speed. And I had first version that was a prototype, never distributed, and it had speed only 36 cycles per second, 500 lines of the program code, and more than 200 lines of the core code. So then I had to improve it, and I created for public and release it the Gene 2.0, where the speed is more than 17,000 cycles per second, which means that it's more than 10 billion cycles per week. The software has more than 4,000 lines of program code and more than 700 lines of the core code. So this speed I was able to reach using just the CPU, the processor, and the internal memory. So nothing, everything is running on the background, and Microsoft Excel is used as a just visual interface, but everything is in the operational inner memory and the processor. So that's the maximum speed I was able to reach. Now, if you are interested about the wave-like theory, you can get the eBook on the eBay under following link. You can also get the Gene software on this link. If you decide to order the Gene software, then you will get the book for free as bonus together with the software. If you like to support more the research development of the software, you like to have something significant, something no one has, something special, then you can order the golden edition Gene software under following link. So I am at the end of my lecture and basic presentation, and here now it's time to demonstrate the real software. So I will start it right now. So here you can see the software, you can see the Microsoft Excel interface, and let's start and show you how it works. At first we click the activation. Then we can select the language. We will keep English. There are many languages around the world. Then we will select the skin. I'll keep the same as I have now just to see it. And finally, the most important is to select the right lottery we want to generate the numbers. For well-known lottery played in US is Powerball, but there are also many lotteries all over the world, and maybe of them can be added without problem. You can add them also by yourself. So let's select the Powerball. Now you see the basic parameters were filled in of the lottery. It means that this lottery has two independent draws. One is 5 numbers from 69, and the second draw is 1 number from 26. Then I will fill other columns or cells without explanation. So this one is it's the coordinates where the input and output boxes are printed. It's somewhere here. Then what is very important is the counters preview slots. Is the history as I showed in the principle. Now we can take just 3. It can be bigger or smaller. Then the counters future loss. This I will explain later. and I put the seed for the draw 1. Let's say put 1, 2, 3. It can be whatever whole number we need. Then let's say for seed for the draw 2 is, for example, 5, 9, 6. Then it can be empty. This one recuperation not explaining here, just 0. Number of results is 3. It means how many best results will be kept and saved, stored, not to lose them. Then swap, let's say for 7, 8, and 6, 4, 2, 5. So the seeds can be whatever whole number you choose, it doesn't matter. And also the swaps is the same situation, so these both are not so important, and they are determining the kind of random numbers chain. The last thing is the mode, A or B. It's a way how the numbers are generated. I will not explain it in detail here, it's not important for our purposes. So before I click the setting, I'll click the stepping. It's a special mode which is not present in the official Gene software, and here it's to demonstrate step by step how the software works and how the numbers are generated one by one. So let's click the setting right now. Now the input and output boxes are printed. It takes some short time, and you can see that a few columns were marked by green. It means that the settings is correct and the box are generated. If not, then some error can occur. Yeah, so we can see that the interface was printed, it's complete. As I can show, we have an input box here, then we have a output box. The first is monitoring, yeah, and the second is the best results, and then we have the last 3 best results, yeah. So that's the interface, and now just a moment, I will prepare, and now I need to prepare the lottery. Okay, so let me open the right browser. So we will find the lottery, powerball.com. Now we can see that new day or new draw will be drawn after 10 hours. So let's look for the past numbers. We should select some day. We have January, the last, let's say the Wednesday, and now we search. So we have last 3 draws is the oldest and the newest one. Let's make it smaller, and the gene we make it smaller as well. And what we need to do is fill in the columns, so we can write it by hand here. So we will put 14, 29, 31, 56, 61. That's the first draw, and the second draw is 1. I hope I'm doing that correctly. We can also copy the numbers and we can paste them directly to the gene, so the work is simpler. The last I will write as well. It works here, but it's not working with every lottery, so at least you should do it manually. And the second row is 24. Just let me see, I hope it's correct. It's 31, 50, 6, 61, 1, 5, 8, 41, yeah, that's correct. 23, 25, 47, 48, 50, 24. Okay, so we are ready. So now we can hide it. We don't need it anymore. And then I make it bigger again. Now I will move it a little bit to see whole process. I just check if all is well done. Okay. So, and we can start. And as I mentioned, it's now in the stepping mode. It's like a manual use without computer. So let's start. And the first number is generated is number 2. And second number, number 3, 64, 11, 61. And that was first row, and for the second row we have number 2. We have one match, yeah, one hit, I will call it hit. Then we continue and we are generating numbers for the second day. Yeah, that's the first row, and then for the second row, and no matches right now. And then we can continue for the third day, and no matches again. And now we are generating for the upcoming day, which will be after 10 hours actually today. Yes, so there are no matches as it's not possible to check. And then we can continue. As I mentioned, this is the count of future rows, which we have 1. We can also generate numbers for other future day, which is after upcoming day. So let's generate the numbers. I will move it again. So we generated a whole table. We have the history, we have one match only, we have the future upcoming day, and the other prediction for next day in future. We can also see that the red line, I call it red snake, changed to the green line, which is now the best result. It's the best because it is the first result we have. And it's the best result is number 1 here, and it's in the field of the best results marked by attention mark. So this we have now the best result. I will now delete the monitoring box and will continue the process. So we are going in loop and getting back and generating again the sequence of numbers. The aim is to get as much matches and hits as possible in the history for the first, second and third day, and generate new numbers for the upcoming day and future day. Now we have 0 matches and we are at the end. I will delete it again and we can continue. Now we have 1 match, and I will continue in a loop. No matches, 0 matches. Actually, I don't need to delete it, and I will still continue. You can see if you do it manually, then it's quite slow. It's less than 30 cycles per second. It's just 1 or 2 cycles per second, which is not useful and usable at all. But for the demonstration purposes and to understand, the principle is very clear and nice demonstration. So let's move it. It's just we have still, now we got 2 matches as you see, and the red snake changed. Now also the best result will change because and we have 1 1 2, so we have a very nice result, and now you see that it becomes to be a best result after we fill the box completely. And now and you see we have the best result is now better, the situation was improved. So you see it, we have first result and the second better result, which has already 22% of matches in average, which means about 1 or 2 numbers can be drawn in the real lottery. So the number 2 is the best result, we keep the last 3 best results, and the number 2 is printed as a best results right now. And if we have new better result, it will be overwritten completely. So I show it, and now I will switch off the stepping and keep it run. Now see what is going on. The monitoring is faster, so the snake is moving. It represents the count of matches, and when the snake will be better than the green snake, then the green will change, and you've seen it right now. I will run it for a while to see like it works. Now to make it much more quicker, I switch off the monitoring and the red snake will stop, but the computer is running, and then when there will be better result, then it's overwritten. I will just switch it also to the nodes, as the speed will be higher. I don't know why, but you know, it's Microsoft, so now the speed is just the first because we just started, but now it increased to 14,000 cycles per second, and it can be higher. Actually, when I am running the live stream together with this as well, then you know that it can be a little bit slower, the process. But anyway, the speed is very nice. Yeah, now we have speed 17,000 cycles per second, which as I presented, this is the speed I was able to reach on my computer with Core i7 Intel processor. So we can go back and we can look for the best result. So we see that it's the result number 5, and it has 33% of matches, which is let's say 2 or 3 numbers. If we put them, the best result here, if this one is what we should put on the ticket, and then we can expect 2 or 3 numbers will be drawn in the real lottery upcoming day. It means now today after 10 hours. Yeah. So I am almost at the end of the demonstration. I will pause it, and I prepared the gene in advance, running longer time to see what I was able to get, what result I was able to get today. So let me hide it, and I will show it here. So you see, it's what I got after 3 hours, and I can continue running. I can put the notes as well to back. Now we can see the speed is increasing, and it will change soon. Just wait. Yeah, now we have the speed 16,000 cycles per second. There was 17, so the speed is really high enough. And sorry, I opened the, it's not the advanced. I will just stop it again. I need to open, yeah, that's the full interface here without the stepping. You see the stepping is not valid. And just to show, I can continue the generation. Just to show it ran, I have after more than more than 200 million cycles, and the average speed was 19,000 cycles per second, and it ran more than 3 hours. And after 3 hours I got more than 50% of matches, which is very good result. It means the half of numbers will be drawn today, and it is the best result is number 62. And let's look, that's the result. 62 is marked as a best one, and we are keeping the last 3 best results, which we have number 60, 61, 62. If there will be newer better result, then it's overwritten this result number 60, and you can see how it was increased to 50%, which means 3 numbers will be drawn today on this lottery from these which we put on the ticket today. I will show one more thing. If I change the gate without explaining so much, I will change it like that, and you can see we have a yellow line. It is this one is, if we can also keep results which are very close to the best one, then we can keep, if we change the percentage here, how much close to this one, that we can get also very similar result, and then we can decide which one we will use on for the lottery and which one we put on ticket. So that's all I wanted to show. I will click the end. I can do another thing, and I will show it right here. If I click the compare, then I can show the wave directly in the output box, which looks like this. We have this form here, 4 matches, 1 match. We have this like that. These are the new results. As you know, they were overwritten as I changed the parameter to see the yellow line. But we can see here the wave, and then we put the numbers on the ticket. What I can do, I can delete the wave from it. I can click the transfer, save it, then I can close it. Yeah, I can close it completely. I can run it on another computer or another day. It depends if I need to do something else on my computer or not. But anyway, it doesn't influence the other work. It can run on the background, so you can work in your office programs and other stuff. So that's no problem. So I can go it back. I click again the activation setting. It's already created, and then it continues the process. And I have still time to run it until I can put the ticket and until the lottery is drawn. So we have about 10 hours. I don't know if 1 hour at least before, so we can do it. So I am finally at the end. Thank you for watching. Your support is important for me, so please subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified about upcoming live stream events and new videos. Do not forget to provide your feedback, comments, and I'll be glad for your likes if you see the video interesting. Join us on the Facebook page and group. Stay tuned and see you next time.